Hi, welcome to this Pilates workout for runners. We are going to really focus on alignment, control and stability, some of the elements that we need to maybe help us improve our running technique and efficiency. But this also carries over quite nicely into general everyday activities. We're going to start in standing, so do come and join me, with feet together to begin with, and then turn the heels out and bring your toes in line, finding roughly hip width apart, toes pointing forward in this nice parallel position. And let's think about lengthening up through the spine. Imagine that you have a thread coming out the top of your head, it's pulling you up towards the ceiling. We're going to place our hands around our hips and find a very small bend in your knees, just so we're not gripping and tensing through the legs, as we now practice some pelvic tilts. So think about trying to send your tailbone out behind you, essentially sticking your bottom out behind, noticing that you create this curve into your lower back, and we will all be slightly different as to how much of a curve you might have here. And then think about pulling the tailbone underneath, so we almost flatten out and lose that curve. So let's try that again. Sending the tailbone out behind and then tucking the tailbone under. So just feel the difference between those two positions, and one might be a lot easier than the other. And if imagery is useful, you could imagine your pelvis a bit like a bucket of water, and imagine that you're trying to tip water over the front and then tip water over the back. So it's a rocking motion here through the pelvis, and we will practice this a little bit later on as well. And then could you find the middle of those two positions? So the tailbone is just gently tucked, pointing down towards the floor. You feel balanced over your feet. We can now really straighten out through those legs. Think of lengthening up again. And place the hands now around your rib cage. So feel for your bottom ribs just above your waistline. Maybe hooking the hands around, or you could wrap your arms and your hands around. Taking some nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Trying to breathe into your hands, down into the bottom of the lungs and the rib cage. So we want to feel that the rib cage is expanding as we inhale, pushing out into the hands and then drawing back together as you exhale. So we might now be feeling more aware of our body, of our breath. And moving the hands now onto your tummy. We're going to change the focus and think about core. So maybe imagine that you have a belt or a corset wrapped around you. We're going to take another of those deep breaths into the rib cage. And then as you exhale, imagine that that belt is drawing in, it's getting tighter. And so you might feel that you draw away from your hands. And we're going for 100%, really drawing everything in. It's going to feel quite intense. We're not going to be able to hold it for very long, and we might struggle to keep those breaths going as well. So hold it just for a breath. And as you exhale, just relax everything. Let's try that again, but now only half of the way, 50%. So we take a breath, Exhale, you're going to tighten up that belt again, drawing in away from your hands, but 50%. It feels a little bit easier, not so tense. We can breathe maybe a little bit easier as well. We hold it for a breath. We breathe out to relax. This time, we're going for about 20 to 30%. So once more, we breathe in. Exhale, drawing your belt in, so you're wrapping around, drawing up. But now, a little bit less. 20, 30%, where we can just feel that things are connected, drawn in, but it's a little bit easier to hold. We're going to be able to maintain that connection for a lot longer. So see if you can keep that connection, continue to breathe up into the rib cage. And now let's try and shift some weight forward into our toes and then back into your heels. Let's try that again. So it's this transfer of weight forward and back, not too big, and making sure that it's not kind of a upper body or a hip type movement. It's the whole body shifting forward and shifting back. Feel that change through your feet. Nice steady breaths. Keeping that core just engaged very gently to give you support. And so this is a great way to really reinforce the messages between our brain and our body, so we're more aware of our positioning, where we are in space. And so we're going to turn this into a heel lift. We're going to shift forward again into the toes, and then could you rise up onto the balls of the feet and then lower back down, heels to the floor. And again, take your time as you rise up and down. So maybe imagine that thread out the top of the head is now pulling you up towards the ceiling, and then you're being lowered back down. Trying not to roll on the ankles. So you could imagine that you have a pillow or a ball in between your legs, and you're just gently squeezing into that ball as you lift. So we're active through the legs, but we're still drawn in as well through the center. Could we then lift and stay there next time? Hold it here. Now try bending your knees. Not too far that you're tipping the body forward and losing your balance. We stay upright. Lower the heels, straighten the legs. And again, so we rise up, bend the knees, push the heels down, straighten back up. Just two more. Heels, knees, heels down, straighten up. Last one. Up, knees, heels down, straighten. And let's see if we can reverse that movement. So we start with the bend of the knees, being careful not to tip too far forward, lifting the heels, push up through the legs, heels down, knees, heels, push up, heels down, two more, knees, heels, pushing up, heels down, last one. Legs might be feeling a little bit warmer now. We're more aware of our legs and our feet. And down. Let's take feet a little bit wider, maybe shoulder width now. We're going to go for some squats. Keep the hands where they are, around the hips. So this is a hinging movement from your hips, your knees and your ankles. You could imagine that you're aiming for a low chair behind you. So we send the hips and the bum back. You're hinging your body forward. Go as low as you feel comfortable and then push yourself back up. So we breathe into our squat and we breathe out to stand up. Keep going. Now next time, squat down, pause for a second. Can you shift the weight over into one leg for a second? Back into the middle, push yourself up. And again, we hold the squat. Shift over into the other leg this time. Back into the middle and push up. And again, down, shift to one leg, center, and up. Let's keep going. Feeling that weight shift. Try and keep your hips level. Just go as low as you feel comfortable. Now we're going to try and take foot off the floor. So we come down, shift again. So we've got the weight in one foot, lighter on the other. Could you maybe try and lift the heel or maybe the foot back down into center, push up. And again, hold the squat, shift over into one leg, either just lifting the heel or lifting the foot, down, middle, up. We try and keep those hips level as we lift. So if I show you here, what you want to avoid is hitching the hip up to lift the foot off the floor. Keep it really small, avoid hitching the hip, try and stay level if you can. Good, so we're really loading into one leg, one side, and trying to keep good positioning. And let's just do that once more each side. We don't have to hold it for long. We push back up. Have a quick shake off. We're going to step to one end of our mat now, so you need space behind you. We're going to go for a rear lunge. So choose a leg to start with, I do not mind which. We are going to step back, not too narrow, so a nice big step behind you. And think of dropping your back knee down towards the floor. As low as you feel comfortable, push yourself back up and step in. Other side. So we step back, drop the back knee down, push up, step in. And again, so this is very slight hinging of your upper body, but we're not going too far over that front leg. Keep looking in front. Try and get that back knee down if you can. Good, next time, stay on this side. We're going to drop it down, and then could you push through this front leg to lift and maybe find your balance, or just step the foot in if you need to, keep the toes on the floor. So we try and lift, find your balance. You're lifting out of your supporting leg. Feel that thread pulling you up again towards the ceiling. We're going to stay with this same side. We're going to step it back again. Exhale, lift, find your balance. We breathe in, step back. Breathe out, lift. Step back. Lift. Just one more time. Back. Lift. Place the foot down. Let's do that on the other side. So we step back again into our lunge. We drop the knee down. We're going to really push through this front leg to now help us lift. Find our balance. We're lengthening up again, being pulled to the ceiling. Breathe in as you step it back. Breathe out, lift that leg. And again, or just step it in. This is where we might also really feel a difference one side. One more time. And down. Good work. Shake it off. Let's step it to the other end of our mat now and make our way down towards the floor. Take a nice deep breath into the bottom of the ribs. Exhale, we roll down through the spine. If you want to hang here, you could do, just to help stretch out through the back of the legs. Try and let go of your head, your upper body. If it's really tight, you could bend the knees slightly. And then walk your hands out, knees down, and we find a table position. So we want hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Really think about lengthening in this position, out through the top of the head and back through the tail behind you. Imagine yourself like a table. You feel balanced, you feel strong. You could imagine that you have something resting on your back, like a tray of drinks maybe, and we don't want it to fall off. So we're not sinking down in the middle, we're not rounding up, and we're not shifting side to side. So we focus on really staying still. Could you then think opposite arm and leg, just lengthening, reaching away from each other. Keep the fingers and the toes in contact with the floor. We're not lifting just yet. And then return back to where you started. Other side. Opposite arm and leg, sliding out away from each other and back underneath. So focus here on your position, trying not to shift too much as you send the arm and the leg away. If you're finding this quite difficult, then maybe keep the hand underneath you and only move the leg out and in. Or try your opposites. Now let's see if we can add a lift. Reaching away first, then lift. Just in line with the body. So we're not throwing the arm and the leg up too high, lower and back under. Changing over. So think about exhaling as you lift. Because that's when we really need the support from our centre. Imagine that belt wrapped around you again. It's just gently drawing in, giving you the support as you lift the arm and the leg. Time the breath. Out as you lift. So keeping control, keeping position. Maybe just once more each side. Back to your start position, and let's shuffle the knees back and lower down onto your front. If you need some support for your lower back, you could place a towel or a pillow under the hips here, or even under the forehead. We're going to take the arms into a nice wide position. I would suggest hands just outside the mat, legs about hip width apart. Let's think about trying to lift the upper body, so head, chest and arms, away from the floor, keeping the eyes looking down and lower. Same again, breathing in as you lift into the back, breathe out as you lower. Make sure arms and head lift at the same time. We're not looking straight ahead. We're keeping the length in our neck, looking down at the mat. Not forcing yourself up. It doesn't matter how high, how big or small this movement is. We're going to see if we can add the legs. So exactly the same, but could you also lift the legs away from the floor and lower back down? Really feel that connection into the back of the body. Feel the glutes kind of wrapping together. A little bit of a squeeze as you lift. We're going to add a reach of the arms next time. See if you can hold your lift. If that is a lot for your back, then maybe lower your legs if you need to. See if you can reach the arms in front, bring them back in, lower yourself down. And again, so we hold the lift, reach to the wall in front, hands in, and back down. Try and keep that chest up. Eyes are still looking down as we reach those arms. Maybe 3 more. Legs lifting or keep them heavy if it's a little bit too much on the back. Keep that breath flowing. And rest. We're going to come back up into our table position. Once again, finding our balance here, over hands and knees. But we're going to tuck the toes this time. Just take a second to remind yourself of your belt wrapped around you. It's going to draw in that 20 to 30% as we lift our knees just away from the mat, an inch or 2. Breathe in as you lower, breathe out as you lift again. So essentially a modified plank here. We're not sending the hips up too high. It's the smallest lift. Use your exhale, use your core, wrapping around as you lift. If you do find this quite a lot on your wrists, then alternatively, you could do it down here on your forearms. That's an option. And you could stick with this, or we're going to try and take it into a plank. Move the hands forward, out from under your shoulders. You can tweak that in a second if you think you need to for positioning. We're going to lift those knees again. And then could you push forward over your hands, lengthen out through the top of the head, bring it back, lower the knees down. Same again, we exhale, lift. Push forward over the hands, back in, drop it down. Keep going. Draw the tummy in. Maybe a couple more if you can. And then touch the knees down and let's sit back to the heels. You could open knees wider if you need to as you reach the arms, reach to the top end of the mat. Taking a nice full breath into the back of the body. Let's walk hands over to the right, left hand crossing over, reaching away. Can you breathe into that left side of the rib cage? Create space, length. Walk hands through center to the other side. Right hand crossing over, reaching away. Breathing deep. Back to center and slowly sit yourself up. We're going to change position. Come round onto your back. Lying yourself down if you need to. You could use a small pillow or towel just underneath the head to maybe support the neck. Arms by your sides. Feet again about hip width apart. And just spread them into the floor. Let's try our pelvic tilts now in this position. So remember we did those in standing earlier. It's going to feel quite different now that we're here on the floor. Imagery could be useful again here. You could make a diamond shape with your thumbs and your fingers and place your hands on top of your pelvis. Thumbs under your belly button, fingertips on your pubic bone. Imagine that you have a marble resting in the middle between thumbs and fingers, and you're trying to roll that marble towards your thumbs. So you need to very gently tilt the pelvis, let the lower back just touch into the mat. And then imagine rolling the marble away down towards your fingers, feeling that you arch, create that lumbar curve. And let's do that again. So maybe recognize that it's the same thing as what you did in standing, but we get more feedback from the floor, which can be quite useful. Feel the lower back just touch down and then arch away. It's not too big that we're lifting off the floor. Again, it's this rocking motion, forward and back. Just let the breath flow with you. Maybe once more in each direction. And then could you imagine that the marble is resting in the middle of your circle? So we should feel hip bones are level and just noticing a natural curve in your lower back. We will all be slightly different here. You might be able to get your hand under there or just a sheet of paper, but what feels natural for you, we now try and stay still. Keep that position. As you open one knee out to the side and back in, other leg. Breathe in as you open, breathe out as you close. Trying not to roll the pelvis or roll the marble, so think of that if it's useful. Might only be a small movement, and that's fine. Focusing on the quality, the technique of the movement. Maybe once more each side. And back to your start position. Let's now lift one leg to a knee fold position, this right angle shape where your knee stops over your hip, and then simply place the foot back down and try lifting the other side. So we breathe in to lower, breathe out to lift. It's this folding at your hip to lift the leg towards you. Feel what's happening. We need this awareness now of the position on the floor. As you lift, check that you're not pushing the back into the floor. Keep your marble still if you want to think of that. Now can you lift one leg, hold it there, and see if you can lift that second leg up to join it without tilting and pushing the back down into the floor. And then your first leg down and your second leg down. Can you start with that second leg to lift up, up, down, down. Could you breathe in to lift one, breathe out to lift the second. Breathe in to lower, breathe out to lower. So maybe remind yourself of your belt wrapped around you. It's drawing in, giving you support. So the gap beneath you, that natural curve, might get a little bit smaller, but we're not pressing the back right down into the floor. So we're working both the front and the back of the body, and we're working the hips. Let's do that maybe one more time. And back to our start position. We're going to change this very slightly now, so we can think of working the glutes and the back of the legs a little more. So now could you tilt the pelvis towards you, feel your lower back touch down into the mat. So you've just tucked the bum under slightly. You're in this flat position now to begin with. Make sure the feet aren't too far away, they're firmly pressing down. We start here, we take a breath, and as you breathe out, push the hips up, working those glutes to lift you into a bridge. Breathe in back down to that flat position, breathe out to lift again. So we breathe in to lower, breathe out to lift. Keep the bum tucked under, that slight tilt of the pelvis. So the focus is all on the glutes, the legs working. Can we lift again? Hold it there. Open the knees, out, in, down. And again, lift, knees open, close, down. 4 more. Keep those hips up as you open, so you're not sinking down. Don't drop. And just 1 more. Rest down. Let's take feet wider, arms a little wider as well, and just roll the knees over to each side just to loosen up those hips. And then bring it back into the middle. Let's take right foot over the left leg, our figure 4 stretch, which you might be familiar with. If you need to, you can stay as you are and just gently push the right knee away to help open up that space in the hip. Or you've got the option to lift the left leg, and bring it towards you. And you could even try holding on to that left leg, gently drawing it in, holding it here. Deep breaths. Always a great stretch, this one, to target the hip, the glutes, the lower back. And let's slowly lower, uncross, other side, left over the right. Again, you could stay here as it might be different on one side. You might want to just push that left knee away from you, or you can lift the right leg, maybe hold on, and we breathe into this stretch. Let's slowly let go, hug both knees in, and lift the head. Little bit of rocking, just so we can sit ourselves up from the floor, maybe cross-legged for a moment. Finding those deep breaths again into the ribs. Noticing how your body is feeling now. And I hope you are feeling good. I hope you have enjoyed this session with me today. Thank you so much for joining me. Please like this video, leave a comment if you'd like to. Make sure you subscribe to my channel as well, so then you will get notified when I add new videos. But great to have you with me. Enjoy the rest of your day. Lots of love from me, and I hope to have you back with me soon. Bye.